princesses! Today I'm going to be doing an East versus West comparison on the Tony Moly Goddess Aura Crystal Light versus the Benefit Beams. So I actually have two almost dupes to show you guys. They're not quite dupes in terms of colour, but because they are highlighters, once you blend them out on your skin, they really do look the same. And of course, because it is an East versus a West product, there's always a substantial price difference, so I will get into that later on. So I'll start off with some product claims. The Benefit Sunbeam says, this golden bronze highlighter gives you a natural sun-kissed radiance. Dot and blend over makeup on cheeks and brow bones for a bronzed glow. The High Beam product description says, our satiny pink liquid highlighter accents cheeks and brow bones for a dewy glow. Use as a spot highlighter over makeup or wear under complexion products for subtle luminescence. The Tony Moly product description says, Luminous Goddess Aural Crystal Light contains subtle shimmers in a dewy liquid form that creates an illuminating glow. It has a unique light effect which beautifully bounces off light to give a sheen, shimmery glow. Wear it on daytime or nighttime, for this liquid highlighter adheres very well onto skin, making it last for hours. So basically, both products claim to give you a beautiful dew and luminescence. Basically, they're both just liquid highlighters. The packaging for both highlighters is quite similar, though the full-size Benefit highlighters are slightly bigger. The Tony Moly highlights have an interesting applicator. They are plastic and quite stiff, which is a little bit annoying, but ultimately doesn't affect the application of the highlights because I dot them on my face anyway. The Tony Moly comes with 3 colours, 2 of which are pretty good dupes for the Benefit colours. Pink Glam is a pretty pink with a silver shine, Gold Glam is gold with a purple and pink shine, and Bronzing Glam is bronze with a gold shine. I have the mini size of the Benefit highlighters. They have brush tips which are softer than the plastic ones obviously. The Benefit High Beam is similar to Pink Glam, being pink with a silver shine, and Sunbeam is most similar to Bronzing Glam, being a lighter bronze colour with a gold shine. So I'm going to compare the Benefit High Beam with the Tony Moly Pink Glam. These two highlights look very similar on my arm, but they're not quite dupes. Pink Glam definitely looks pinker, whereas High Beam looks lighter and more silver based. Both of these highlights look quite nice on my skin tone. High Beam looks a little bit brighter, but it's not as shiny in real life where there's no lights. I find High Beam easy to apply, it blends out easily and it looks really pretty. Pink Glam is equally easy to apply and blend out, though I do find that if I use the same finger to blend both sides of my cheekbones, it can cling to my fingers and remove the foundation underneath. It's an easy fix though, I just use a different finger. In reality, I can't tell the difference between these two highlighters. They look ever so slightly different next to each other, but they both look like pink toned highlights. So now I'm going to talk about Benefit Sunbeam in comparison to the Tony Moly Bronzing Glam. Sunbeam and Bronze Beam don't look the same when you have a full set of product out, but when it's blended out they do look a little bit more similar. Sunbeam looks slightly lighter and more gold, and then Bronzing Glam looks slightly more bronze. Both of these highlights are definitely bronzers for my light skin tone, but they would make gorgeous highlighters for darker skin tones. I use them on the tops of my cheekbones for a sun-kissed glow, but they do look a little bit dark for me. I find that both Sunbeam and Bronzing Glow look the same on my face. I need to use a little bit less of Bronzing Glow to sheer it out to the right colour. If I use too much, it just looks weird anyway, so it's not like I'm altering it to make them dupes. But other than that, they both apply equally as nicely and they're both easy to spread out and don't leave a sticky residue. When I compare them side to side, I definitely prefer Sunbeam in colour because it's slightly more golden in tone, whereas Bronzing Glam is a little bit more on the orange or red side. it definitely looks more like a bronzer, whereas the Sunbeam, I can almost pass it off as a sun-kissed glow. However, neither of these colours really suit me, and they're not colours that I would continue to use. So for the all-important price comparison, the Tony Moly highlighters come with 10 ml of product. They are $6.87 for the entire product, which makes them 0.68 cents per ml, and this is in New Zealand dollars. Now for the full size of the Benefit highlighters, there are 13 ml of product, and it cost me 49 New Zealand dollars. This makes them $3.76 per ml, which is substantially higher again. So for the Tony Moly highlighters, I love that they are super inexpensive at $6.87 in New Zealand dollars each. They have cute and functional packaging, they are easy to apply, and they don't leave my face feeling sticky. For the Benefit, they are quite expensive at 49 New Zealand dollars each, but they have cute functional packaging, they are easy to apply, and they don't leave a sticky residue on my face. Both of these highlighters tick all of the boxes in my opinion, aside from the price, which we will get into later, and they have very slight colour differences. Other than that, they are both liquid highlighters and do pretty much the same job. For Benefit, you are always paying for the name. There is almost no other reason for them to be this expensive other than the fact that they are Benefit products. And this is actually, I think, the third Benefit East versus West comparison that I've done, because there are incredibly comparable products in the East which don't have that name association and therefore are not that expensive. If you enjoy using Benefit products and you like having that Benefit name on your counter or your vanity, then these products are great. They are beautiful, and I prefer the colour of Sunbeam over the Bronzing Glam from Tony Moly, just because I have a lighter skin tone. However, I personally don't care about the brand name of Benefit, which sounds, I don't know, it doesn't sound that bad to me. I just don't value the name of that much, and my channel is almost always Korean beauty based anyway, so it does make a difference to me. So if I had to choose between the two, I would choose the Tony Moly because it's like way cheaper. It is a fraction of the price of the Benefit. The only reason that this is expensive is because it's Benefit. Other than that, they do the same thing and they look the same. So for me, it's an easy choice. I prefer the Tony Moly highlighters purely because they're cheaper. Other than that, there really is no difference between the formula other than a very slight colour difference. They both wear the same, they both look the same, they both feel the same on the skin. So if you prefer Tony Moly, grab the Tony Moly ones. If you prefer Benefit, grab the Benefit ones. So thank you guys so much for watching this review, and I will see you in the next one.